Hey folks, Poverty Point Customs here. Well, this is my Sportsman 9 horsepower two-stroke outboard engine. So a little backstory, when I first bought my home roughly 19 years ago, this was in the garage owned by my cousin Peter. So I actually used this motor approximately 36 years ago, and it was used behind a trimaran, almost like a little mini Boston whaler, approximately 10 feet long. So I used to use this a couple times behind that, and it actually worked amazing. But that was roughly 36 years ago. For the past 19 years, it's actually been hanging from the shelf up there. I actually put it up there 19 years ago. So my relative sold his speedboat there many years ago. So I doubt this has even been used for minimum 30 years, if not longer. I may have been the last one to actually use that because he actually brought it from the garage here down to the boat, and that's where I tried it. All right, so this is where your fuel goes in. This has actually been sitting like this for 19 years. And again, this is a two-stroke motor. I'm not sure if I have the old fuel jug or not, so I'll have to take a look through the rafters in the garage. But overall, the motor's actually in really good shape. There's the lower end. There's your tiller, your reverse, neutral, and forward, your pull cord, your choke, and an actual stop button. As you can see, it's got quite a bit of dust on it. Well, it's been 19 years of dust since I've had the house. On the front here, you have your lock and unlock. This is when you tilt it. And if anybody knows roughly the year that these were made, if you want to put a comment down below with a rough guesstimate on it, there's not much on these online. All right, so to open up the top, push down here, pull back. Let's hope there's no mice or anything in here. So far there's been no critters yet. Let's see if that's your choke. And let's try make sure nothing's bound up or seized up. You can see how heavy things were made back in the day. Some extra cotter pins here. Taking a look, it's a twin cylinder. There's your two spark plugs. As you can see, they've been there for quite a few years. You don't see this on the new motors, high speed, rich, and idle. There's your carburetor there. Taking another look at them. And as you can see, when you're going from reverse, neutral to forward, you can see the engagement here. So just taking a look at the number plate here, it says it was made by Simpsons Sears and Simpsons, made in Canada. So the serial number is showing 81665-1238. If that means anything to anybody out there, let me know as far as trying to determine the year. And if we do get this going, we're going to put something in here other than a bolt that's been bent over. There's the back of it. Again, it's a 9 horsepower two-stroke. Overall, it's actually in really good shape, considering the age and the amount of time that it's actually been sitting around. So I just tilted it up in order to actually lock it in the tilt position. Need to engage it right here. All right, the next thing I want to do is get some two-stroke oil, and we're actually going to try starting this without doing anything to it. All right, we have our makeshift gas jug hanging from the garage opener track, and we're going to hook a fuel line from there into there. And there we go. So this is how you connect it. And we've got some fuel flow. Put it up high, that way it's kind of gravity fed for the first time into the motor. So we'll give it a little bit of a prime here. And we're gonna tilt the motor down. Now I do have a garbage pail if by chance this does start. We'll only let it run for a split second. You don't want to burn up the impeller. And if it does run, we'll stop that, hook up the bucket full of water, and then we'll try running it for a bit. So I have no idea what the oil to gas ratio is. So I have this for my trimmer. So this is a 40:1 with Supreme fuel in it. So we'll try that. So we'll make sure it's in neutral. What I'm going to do is just give it a few pulls just to make sure it's not seized up and get some of the fluid inside the motor, lubricating it. Still has good compression because it's pretty hard to pull, as you can hear. So we'll give it full choke, which I believe is out. Now for the throttle, I have no idea if that's full or low. So what we'll do is, typically it will start in the middle, so we'll put it right about there where that little line is there in the tape. So again, I haven't checked for spark. I know we're getting fuel at least right to there. Just saw it pouring out when I was connecting the fuel line. So worst case scenario, it won't start, but we'll see. Before I hopefully get this going, make sure to like and subscribe this video. Again, it costs you nothing, but it certainly helps out my channel and lets me know that these are videos that you're interested in. And also, like I said, I gave out the serial number earlier. If anybody knows roughly the year of this, let me know it. Again, it's Simpsons Sears Simpsons Sportsman 9 horsepower. All right, I'm sure most of you are done listening to me ramble on, so let's get this thing hopefully started. Let's make sure the stop button's not sticking, and we're in neutral. Ah! And you heard that? It's trying. Give it a little more or less. And that's the difference from old technology and new technology. Again, this has been sitting minimum 19 years, if not 30 to 35 years it hasn't been started. So I'm assuming when it was put away, the carb was drained. If not, it would be all gummed up. Let's get this filled up. Once we're all said and done, I can't wait to give this a good cleaning. As you can see, look at that fin here. We'll add about another 2 inches of water. We're going to bring it right up to about here. Yeah, that should be good. Let's give her another try. Pump's working well. Still dirty. And it's idling. when I turned the throttle down a little bit, it stalled out, but that's fine. So we've got seems to be a good running motor. The water pump's working great. It's spitting out a lot of water and it's getting a little bit warm. So let's actually see if we got forward and reverse on here. It's going to be a little bit splashy. All right, start her up again. That's reverse. I actually cut back on the throttle a little bit, that's why it stalled out, but no biggie. And I saw it spinning a little bit. And we've got forward, reverse, and neutral. Well, I have some water. We're going to get some soap and just give this a quick cleaning, just to get some of this long-term dirt off of it. And I did tell you we're going to squirt a little bit today. You can see in the water there's a little bit of floating crap in there. That's stuff that's been stuck in the exhaust or whatnot over the years. Everybody's going to cringe right now with me spraying some Dawn on it, but there's no polish or anything on this, so we're going to give this a good degreasing. Then eventually we're going to wash, wax, detail this, and do a complete service on this motor. So this is more just to get off some of the buildup. Alright, so we gave her a little wipe down, and I just started it up and I disconnected the fuel line and I actually let this run till it stalled out, that way draining the carburetor bowl of any fuel so it's not sitting in there. Just while it's sitting for a bit, we're going to give it a little bit of Meguiar's hybrid ceramic wax just to protect it a little bit, because it hasn't been waxed probably most of its life, so this will certainly help it out a bit. And we got it all dried and buffed. As you can see, there's actually a little bit of shine to her, which is kind of nice to see. Now, there's a few things I can do with this. I'm going to do the maintenance on it, but I thought about actually restoring this to like new condition. But with that, there's two bits. It's nice and original like this, and I know there's not very many around. And if you have one or know where there is one, send me a link to it. I'd be curious to actually see some more of these out in the wild. Or I restore this to brand new condition, but again, it's in really good shape for the year and it runs really well. Would I prefer to keep it like this? I think I might actually, instead of restoring it. Again, it's nice and original condition and there's not a lot like this out there, so I don't know. Leave a message in the comments what you think I should do next with this. Do you want me to throw it on one of our tenders to actually see how well this works out on the water? Should I hang it back up on the wall for another 20 years? Or get some use out of this? Anyways, hope you like this video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button, and if you like this type of video, make sure to hit the subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching. Happy boating.